So, are you nervous?
Yes, I'm nervous. I don't want to be bad on your show.
You're not going to be bad. What makes you think you'll be bad? You raised me. I'm your offspring.
I know, and that's scary in itself. You got that little bit of crazy.
Today, I am here with my sweet mother. Mother, would you please introduce yourself?
Do I look somewhere special? I'm Karen Mosley, and I'm Joel's mom of Jake and Joel Do Magic. Although I think it should be Joel and Jake Do Magic, but they don't agree with me.
The name of the channel is actually Jake and Joel Are Magic.
Oh, well, I was close. You mean all these people that I've been telling at the hairdresser and the massage place that I've been saying the wrong thing?
It's all good. I'm sure if they Googled it from the hairdresser, they were able to find it.
My masseuse was very interested.
Enormous shout out to all of our little critters over on our Patreon. You are the bloom in our burrow, and we couldn't do it without you. Y'all are the cutest creatures around. You all get one boop on your snoot each.
Jake and Joel Are Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the easiest place to sell your cards on the internet. TCG Player, the best place to buy cards on the internet. Drip Shop, where you can find us live selling, auctioning, and giving away tons of product. Dragon Shield, the best sleeves you can get to protect your cards. MTG Stocks, the best way to track the prices of your cards over time. And Moxfield, the best deck list site on the internet. Jake and Joel are powered by their Patreon. Go check out the rewards that Jake and Joel have put at any tier you want to support them. See if there's a tier you're interested in and get involved with their community on a deeper level. I wore my amethyst for good luck and my blue topaz for communication.
Wow. Very magical, actually. You have your jewelries, you have your artifacts on.
I picked them out on purpose.
So today what we're going to try and do is I'm going to have Karen rate new cards from Bloomburrow, the new set from Magic the Gathering. And you've played how many games of Magic in your life?
0.
We'll see how this goes. Okay, we are going to look at some cards individually, but I want you to look at these 4, and I want you to tell me, just based on the boxes, which one would you pick?
Okay, Animated Army. Well, that raccoon reminds me of the raccoons that come up in the backyard that my neighbor feeds all the time. Peace Offering. Isn't that a cute little bunny? I'm into Peter Rabbit for many reasons.
Okay.
Now this looks magical, but this says squirreled away. And right now I don't like squirrels because the squirrels keep jumping into my bird feeders. My stained glass bird feeders that hang off the eaves of the house that for years never had a squirrel problem. They've learned how to crawl up the wall of the house and jump into the feeder, so now I want a gun. Never wanted a gun, but now I want a gun. Birthday's coming up soon. Oh, I like this one because, you know, it has an instrument on it. Family matters. And family does matter to me, even though I want to kill a squirrel.
So which one of those 4 would you say that you would pick, just based on the name and the art that you've got?
I'd have to go with Family Matters.
Going with Family Matters. Okay, good to know. I just wanted to see.
The rabbit would be in second.
The rabbit would be second?
Yes, squirrel would be last. Zinnia Valley's Voice. Oh, there's an instrument in its wing. Flying Zinnia Valley's Voice gets +X/+0, where X is the number of other creatures you control with base power 1. Creature spells you cast have Offspring too.
Offspring. I thought this would be a good place for us to start, since I'm your offspring, and now you take care of my offspring regularly, to have a bird bard that creates offspring of itself and lets those abilities stack and creates base power 1 creatures.
Well, I like Zinnia. Zinnia, it has a mandolin, and I love mandolins.
Oh, it's a mandolin, okay. Jake and I couldn't figure out exactly what instrument this was the other day.
Well, it's
a mandolin, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Looks like he's got a little dance in his step, too. I guess since this one can have as many offspring as you want to spring out of that little formula, you could overload something with a bunch of little babies. That'd be enough to drive you crazy.
Did you mean to dress like Zinnia today?
I had no idea I was going to meet Zinnia today. I was just trying to be magical, and it was too hot to wear my magical robe.
Your magical robe? What is that?
Well, do you have a special question that's touching your heart that you would like to find an answer, but it has to be worded in a yes or no? And someone asked if we were going to have a blizzard that year, and it would go, so no. And we did not have a blizzard that year. But see, isn't that pretty? Miss Bumbleflower. Oh, that's the little rabbit. I think she's very pretty, but she must be very dainty if she can only dish out a 1.
But she can take a 5. 5 is very strong.
Well, you know, some of us dainty ladies can take a lot.
What do you think about Miss Bumbleflower's tray of goodies there?
Does she use those to entice her opponents in and then nabs them?
Maybe you're getting the point of the card now a little bit. Maybe you know more than you think you do. You know, I feel like the way that she's presented here in a lot of colors, holding a tray of treats, that people could describe you as a Miss Bumbleflower.
You'd never know. Hazel of the root bloom. And you know those dang things have been digging in my flower pots too? I guess, going after the roots. Legendary creature, Squirrel Druid. Look how she's standing. Like she's like Miss Erect. I'm into all the roots and flower pots. Yeah. And all those poor little animals over there. Well, I don't really have a lot of respect for mice or rats either, but she looks like she has them under control. That's foxglove that she has on the end of her, or it looks like the flower of foxglove on the end of her staff. Can they be poisonous? She has a death skull looking thing up there in the right hand corner.
One of her mana costs would be black, so there's 5 colors in Magic: white, blue, black, red, and green. Black would be corruption, poison, rebirth, reanimation, stuff like that.
So I'm right about squirrels. They're evil. He looks like he's out of Guardians of the Galaxy. My neighbor puts out milking cookies for the raccoons and the opossums every night. And they come up.
I'm sure they do.
And
I would come up there for milk and cookies too.
And wipe it out.
This is going to be turning your artifacts and enchantments that didn't previously have life into 4/4 creatures. You see, they get a power and toughness when normally they wouldn't. So it like animates all of the artifacts and enchantments that you've got on the battlefield to attack for you.
Well, there you go. Put those cookies in milk out for those raccoons every night.
Okay, so we've looked at creatures so far, and you being brand new to Magic the Gathering, I also wanted to show you some spells. So we're going to look at Season of Loss, which is a sorcery, which means it's like a spell that you could cast on your turn.
1 paw print. Each player sacrifices a creature. 2 paws. Draw a card for each creature you control that died this turn. Does that mean they come back?
No, you'll just get to draw a card off the top of your library, so you kind of refill your hand if stuff on your battlefield died.
Okay, 3 paws. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. I would suppose that drawing a card for each creature, if you have 2 paws, it would be helpful, but with the 2 skull-looking things up there in the right hand, that makes it look like it's an evil card.
You could actually play it where you don't have any creatures on the battlefield, and let's say your opponents, if you've got multiple opponents, the most creatures that one of them has is 4 or 3. You can choose 3 or 4 paw prints, have them sacrifice those creatures, and then...
Oh, have your opponent sacrifice.
Exactly.
Oh, I was thinking, okay, I see now, I'm not interpreting fully what I'm saying. I'm just trying to say the right words and not come off as a doof.
You're nailing it.
So each opponent loses, and that might be a pretty good card to have. Ral, Crackling Wit. Legendary Planeswalker, Ral. So he's been in other decks?
Been in other sets, yeah. This is one. The Planeswalkers have been the way that they get main characters into the sets, even though we go to a different place every single time. They're called planes, and these are Planeswalkers, so they can walk between the different planes,
Well,
and we
that's
can
cool.
see main characters in other places.
Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on Ral, Crackling Wit. +1, create a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with powers. Prowess. -3, draw 3 cards, then discard two cards. -10, draw 3 cards. You get an emblem with instant and sorcery spells you cast have storm. Do you keep all this in your head or do you write it down? When you're playing.
Yeah, I get the question. It's a good question. There's a basic.
How do you keep up with how many times?
There's a bit. Well, so that is like player choice. Counters, dice. Some people just write it down what their storm count is, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
But then for the regular game, it's more of a matter of like there's a basic set of rules that are the rules of the game, and then every card that gets played is either following or breaking those rules, if that makes sense. And so the cards that are on the table largely define what the game is and what the rules are for any individual match that you're having.
How easy is it to cheat at this game?
It's harder than you would think. It's way easier to make mistakes that you didn't know you made and like overpower or underpower your own cards. That happens all the time.
So can someone call you out on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just wondering.
Thank you very much for being on the channel. I know that this wasn't exactly your maximum comfort zone to be in a video with me, so I do appreciate it.
It was fun, especially if you cut out all the places where I sound like a doofus.
If there are any cards that you want to see Karen, my mother, review in the future, let us know down in the comments. Maybe a set, maybe a group of cards. Karen, would you come back if people are like, we gotta see Karen again?
Sure. Will I get double the pay?
Double the pay of 0 is still 0.
Oh, okay. Sure. I'll do anything I can to help you. You know that. Thank you, Nitro Nick. Like your name. Like yours too, B Mac. Thank you. And Chris, okay, Deester. Sorry if I messed up your name. J.R. Hunter, thank you. Zach G. Aaron Wasson. Thought I was on a roll. Okay, this is cool. Addicted to building. Oh, building your decks. I get it. Cool. Chicken Richard, thank you. Clay, thank you.
Okay, that's enough. You can just say bye. Thanks to everybody else.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. I'd read your name if you'd let me keep going. But I might get it right and I might get it wrong. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much for loving Jake and Joel do magic, our magic, because they are magical in my heart. Love them a lot. Thanks. Bye.